Wherever you're watching this is not a very regular video for me. I'm doing this without thinking much, really, hopefully. I'm gonna try and be quite train of thought. If you know me at all, my train of thought goes all over the place. I think it's one of the best things about me, though, I would say. I've grown to love it. Sometimes it means that I'm difficult to follow, but I think other times it means that I end up having the most philosophical and deep conversations ever without thinking about what I'm doing and just talking, and it's great. Right now, a lot of chapters of my life are closing or have closed, and it's given me lots of room to think about who I am, what my life is coming to, what choices I'm going to have to be making soon, all that deep stuff. And I just thought it'd be nice to post it, since I've already been posting obviously actually it's been quite a while. It's been, I think, close to 4 months since I last posted something, and I haven't decided whether I'm posting this before or after my I Want You Back cover, but I love it, the thing that I've done. I think it's really fun, and I had a lot of fun doing it, and I know I want to post it, but I wanted to talk about what it took to get to that point. My last cover, I think, on my YouTube is my collab with Abby, where we did a Beaver Doobie cover, but I don't remember what song it was. I think it was Talk. And I love that song. I actually did a cover of Godspeed by Frank Ocean on my piano, and I posted it as a reel. I forgot to post it on my YouTube. So if you don't follow me on Instagram, go do that, because I also might start posting more on my Instagram. I haven't decided yet. This is all for the open conversation of now. My train of thought is gonna go and get that, but follow me along for the ride if you care. This is just gonna be a different kind of video, and I'm gonna talk just because I feel like talking. And if you see any cuts in this video, it's just because I've cut out empty space or cut out me saying or as filler words, because I don't think that's fun to listen to. I have had a lot on my mind as of late. Today is actually the 28th of July in 2026, which means it's the 1 year death anniversary of my grandpa, which is crazy to me because so much has happened in a year. There's not really much I can say to describe it, and not that people wouldn't understand. There's so much that's happened, it's kind of unbelievable. I wouldn't know how much would have happened to me in that span of time. So much changed from this time last year. Actually, last week I graduated from the University of Manchester with a maths and physics degree, which I originally was going to do for 4 years and get an integrated master's. And actually this time last year, I wouldn't have known because I hadn't made the choice, but I was deciding between whether or not I wanted to stay on the course or not. And ultimately, it was either by the end of summer or middle of summer, I don't know, but I made the choice and I emailed the uni and I said, hey, I don't really think I want to do another year, even though I had the grades and I could have continued. I just thought to myself, I knew I didn't want to do a PhD anymore. Or, I don't mind going back, but just when I'm very old. I don't think now's the time. I think I didn't give myself a resting period at all before uni, and I regret doing that because I think my brain is very, very tired. I feel like I didn't experience a lot at university that I could have, not because of anything other than I think I'd rendered myself incapable of doing so in many ways. I'd exhausted myself. I was incredibly sad, which meant that it was very difficult for me to do regular things. Leaving the house was such a big deal for me, and it always has been, in fairness. It's not really been my biggest strength. It's interesting because I think a lot of people think I'm very extroverted and like people. I don't. I really like my own company. I like doing things on my own, and I realized this more when I was was filming the rest of the video that I needed to film for my cover yesterday. I just went to the park and just started filming. I put my phone on a tree branch and I just started dancing to the music and lip syncing, blah, blah, blah. And I had such a good time, but it was because I was on my own and I didn't have to think about the fact that anyone would judge me, because it was a judgment-free zone if it's just me, and I have the best time when I'm alone. And you may be thinking, okay, but you're posting this so that anyone can see it, which is true, but it doesn't feel the same because I don't know that anyone's really watching it until they tell me. Also, I think I've realized I'm often safest in my element when I'm doing something to do with music and singing, simply because I don't really think when I do it. And I've realized this as well with a lot of the things that I enjoy doing or tend to be decent at in general, They're always things that kind of I turn my brain off for. When it comes to filming yesterday, I just thought it was very full circle, because I had put on I'll insert a picture, but I'd put on an outfit that I remember wearing 3 years ago, probably to the date, like around the same time, and I'd straightened my hair, and my hair looked so, like, now it's a bit disheveled because I've been playing with it and it's been like, I looked so similar to how I did 3 years ago, and yet again you would not know, or I wouldn't have known 3 years ago how much would have changed in my life, but also how much I would have changed from that point. I had probably, it depends on what month of the summer it was, but that was the summer that I did or finished my A-level exams. I was waiting on my offer from Manchester. I mean, I got my offer, but I was waiting on my grades to see if I got into Manchester or not. And I was so worried because King's was my insurance, and I was so scared I would have to stay in London for uni. And not because I don't like London, but just because I wouldn't be going somewhere different. And I was so excited to be going somewhere different, and I was so scared. I was terrified I wouldn't get in, and then I did, and I was so happy. And I went to Manchester, and I was there for 3 years of my life, and I low-key don't know if I would ever want to go back again. Not because I didn't like it, really not because of that, because I loved it there. I just think so much happened there that I can't escape anymore. And a lot of my brain and the way it works is to do with escaping things. I'm not here a lot of the time. I'm usually floating somewhere and doing something else with my mind to escape what I'm feeling or what's going on. And because I've been there for so long, I feel like I couldn't do that anymore. Every street had a memory attached to it. A lot of people had memories attached to them. My room had so many things unpacked in it because I ended up staying in the same place for 2 years. A lot of sad things were unpacked in that room, and I'm so happy I don't have to go back, and not because it means I will never have to address it ever again, but just because I don't think it was the right place to address any of it anymore. It was too close to the wounds that were caused there. Now, all of this might sound very dramatic to you, which is fine. You don't have to know what I'm talking about when I'm saying it. I think a lot of people probably would understand, though, the plight of having been somewhere too long, or having memories associated with certain things and just needing to move forward with life. But anyways, it was funny because I feel this way, and after graduating I had a very bittersweet feeling. Once I finally left Manchester and I packed up all my things with my best friend Stanka, I drove up and we finished we stayed up for a bit and then we packed everything into my car and we went home. And I actually remember I was feeling a bit sad, which is interesting, not because it's not right for me to feel sad, but just because I don't think I was actually expecting it. I don't think I was expecting it to feel as final as it did. The fact I was probably am not going to see a lot of people for a very, very long time if I either don't make effort or just because life has different plans for everyone and means that everyone ends up in different places or ends up in different situations. It was just very surreal because the last time I'd been that way, I guess, was in school, but I was very happy to be leaving school. The last time in living memory that I remember feeling that way was when I left sixth form in year 13 and we were going to uni. I was so happy. I was so happy to be leaving. I don't think there was a single bit of sadness in me because I was so ready for the next chapter. And I also didn't really want or need to see a lot of people ever again. That was the thing I didn't really like about school. Not because anyone was ever really horrible to me, but just because, again, I don't feel like I'm great socially. I'd rather be alone, and in school we were just forced to go in, and I had to think about how I was and think about who I was going to be for that day. Didn't really want to be there because I didn't enjoy school. I know now why that is. I've been diagnosed with things. I know a lot more about myself now, but yeah, back then when I left, I was so happy because I knew, although I was leaving and I was going to something unfamiliar, I had solidified friendships and knew who I was going to talk to outside of school and keep in contact with, and that did not worry me because I was like, I'll have them for however long I want them in my life. And then things changed because last year I lost one of my best friends, Aaliyah. She passed away in March of 2025, and the last time I saw her was actually in Manchester in 2024, December. And I didn't get to see her over Christmas break because I was on holiday and I didn't come down, and I wasn't going to come down until Easter break. And everything in my brain shifted because I realized the security that I thought I had and those people that I'd chosen to keep in my life, it was not permanent, even though I believed it was. It was world-shattering, to say the least. Like, I don't know really how I could properly describe it because I don't think it's something it's one of those situations that you can't really describe ever. You either just get it through experience or you don't. And I wouldn't wish it upon anyone. And I think back to, again, me the previous year or the year, 2 years before that, there's no way I would have been able to see that was going to happen. And now I think to myself a year later, and I remember thinking back then, how are you going to get through this pain? Like, how is it even possible to get through the day? And it wasn't. It felt impossible every single step, but I still took the steps. I think there have been many situations now that have happened that I wouldn't have ever imagined being able to get through, ever. But I have. And I didn't get through it because I forgot about it or because I healed. I don't think healing ever happens for those kinds of pain. But I've decided, or I've learned, to walk with the pain and keep moving forward. Especially if some people just will never know that it's happened. Not to ask even. It reaffirmed and reinforced what was important in my brain in so many areas of my life. And every day, I wish I could see her again. And I can't. I'm bringing this up because although it's kind of heavy to many people, I think death unfortunately has touched my life in many ways since I was younger. In recent years, it's just been a bit more hard-hitting because I've lost so many people. I've lost so many people that either a shocking way or a way that felt unfair. But also, I think about how the events accumulated in my life and happened, and I think about if they'd happened spaced out in time, I don't know whether I would have been able to get through it. The reason why I did was because they all happened in such a short time span that my only option was to tell myself, just keep going and wait it out until you have a chance to break down. Keep pushing yourself forward because you can get through and you know you can. And then eventually, once you get to a point where it's safe for you to be able to break down, go and do it. But for now, hold your head up high and just keep going. And I think, first of all, second year of uni in general was like that for me. Once I got to the end and I got through my exams, I think I finally saw it as me being capable of, being allowed to break down. But even thinking about this third year, I was counting down the days for it to be over. And again, the reason why I bring this up, which may sound weird to people. I was counting it down, but I think about myself 3 years ago, and I was so excited for this degree. I was so excited to be studying physics. Maybe not the maths part because I changed to do the joint honours right before I started. Yeah, I was so excited. If you talked to me in class about physics, I would talk at you and be able to tell you so many fun facts about things, so many fun facts about physicists of the past. And I was so excited to be going to Manchester because I knew it was a research heavy uni. I'd heard so many great things about the city. I was so excited to be going up north from London. I don't blame anyone other than me. I just think it's a shame that the way that I am seems to be abrasive to the systems and environments of education, considering I love to learn. I love learning. I just hate studying and cannot do it. I've always hated school, which is interesting, I think, to people because I've always been decent at it. But I love learning new information. Having new information, learning new things. I think it's so fun. If someone tells me a fun fact about a random thing, I will find a way to be interested. That's just the kind of person I am. And yet, I've never felt more like a zombie than when I was in education throughout my life, which is a shame. And I think the fact that my passion for the subject was drained is also a shame. I do believe if I had more grit in me and I hadn't gone through as much as I had throughout uni, maybe I'd have a will to continue. But I also think that I'd been pushing myself in the direction of continuing for too long when I should have given myself time to rest, because I don't think that's giving up, and I don't see what I'm doing right now as giving up. I think it was one of the bravest things I could have possibly done to have told myself, you need to rest, don't push for another year and continue on the master's course just because you'll get a master's. Give yourself time and things will work themselves out eventually. I just don't see the point in continuing when I'm on 0 energy reserves. Maybe even in the negatives, I can't lie. I've been, for the past 2 months since I've been home, I mean, I've been watching a lot of the World Cup because I love the World Cup and I love the Euros, and I always will. I have also just clearly needed rest upon rest. An unmatched level of sleep has been achieved by me the past few months. But I also think I want to talk about, because I kept giving myself more breaks and kept saying, I'll wait for it to be the right time for me to come back. It became more and more difficult for me to come back. And during downtime, after I posted my first Supernatural cover, I'm not gonna lie, I became pretty consistent, and I was, again, pretty proud of myself because I wasn't doing it to post the perfect thing. I was doing it because I wanted to make sure that I started to do something consistent. Editing me here quickly. I know I look awful, but forgive me. Just one thing I forgot to mention, which I think is incredibly important, is the fact that during most of the time that I was doing those covers and was uploading during uni and stuff, my health was not great. I have not been doing well recently either, which is why I haven't posted in a while. Unfortunately, I don't know if you can see it. No, you probably can't on camera, but my hand got infected. Okay, dramatic, I know, but it got infected and it was really bad, and I was so excited to start like improving on guitar and playing piano. I could probably still play piano, thankfully. This is the blessing of having piano. It's like it's hard, so it's not cutting your fingers, whereas the skin on my fingers is breaking, so I've not been able to play guitar because I can't physically. And then after and before basically every single previous cover that I posted, I was either recovering from illness or I got ill right after I filmed it or whatever it was. And that's why sometimes there were random gaps. I tried my best to do 2-week gaps in between each of the ones that I filmed. I just didn't end up doing that because it was actually relentless during winter term. It was so bad. And so I wanted to say the consistency that I kept during that time as well was also pretty good for that. I was very frustrated because I wasn't singing well, and a lot of the ones that I had to post were the pre-recorded ones, which just take a lot of time. The ones where I'm just doing it in one take yes, they're more difficult because I have to sing it well in one take, but at least it's just that. With the edit, like you just put the audio straight onto the edited thing. You get what I mean? Covers where I had to film little music videos for because I didn't have one continuous take of video. They're lovely, but they're just a lot of work. And so hopefully now I think I'm somewhat out of the trenches, somewhat. Fingers crossed, because who knows with the way that my body is. But it means that I'll probably be able to film some more stuff on the piano now, which is fun because I'm at home. Maybe not guitar for a long time still because my hand will just get infected. It is already infected again, so I need to tone it down just a bit and just let it heal rather than slicing open my finger. But yeah. And I was just like, I want to get past the 6-month mark. Let me just keep going. Even if I don't like what I'm putting out, it's fine. And believe me, I promise you, if you hear a mistake or a flaw in those videos that I posted before, I promise you I've heard it and I know, and it's exemplified in my head. I just ended up posting it because I was like, first of all, some people don't even notice, and if they do, it's not like they're gonna comment on it. Second, if I try and do something until it's perfect, I will literally never put it out. 3, I was only doing it, I don't know, what did I say 2? I think 3. I was kind of only doing it because I wanted to prove to myself that I could and just start a foundation for me to continue doing it. I think actually at the end of 2024, I'd written myself a letter in true sentimental fashion about what I wanted to achieve the next year. And one of my things that I put down was, I was like, please just start a cover channel. Please just do it. If you're going to do anything, please just do that. And I did, which is something to be so proud of myself for, because I could have just not done it. And again, I just did it because I wanted to start giving myself a challenge. And then I went away for so long that it became more and more difficult to come back, because it felt like I had to come back with something a bit more perfected and complete, which wasn't true, because I'd done and posted awful things in the past just to post. But for some reason, this one just felt like it needed to be a bit more polished. And I personally love what I've done. I think it's really fun. I don't really care if other people don't like it, because again, I'm doing it for me. But I had a lot of fun doing it, which again is the point. And I'm guessing also that's a good thing that I waited that long, because I don't know if I would have felt it originally if I'd done it any sooner. But again, the reason why I'm mentioning it is because I think I needed to overcome the thought of people judging me for what I'd done, because ultimately that's not what I'm doing any of this for. I'm doing it so that my brain feels like it's waking up, because I feel like it's shut down. And I love my brain. I used to hate my brain a lot when I was younger. I think I used to really hate who I was, but I've grown into someone who I think I can honestly say I'm proud to be, simply because I know that every day I'm moving towards trying to better myself. I'm trying to become an improved version of me from who I was yesterday. I'm trying to learn something if I can from a stranger. I'm trying to pick up skills, and I'm trying to do things even if they're terrifying to me. I don't think I'm ever gonna grow or get better as a human if I don't do that to myself and don't challenge myself. And that's what these covers have been to me, because again, this is another thing. People may think that I'm good at singing. I don't think I am yet, technically, because I've never learned how to. I've never got lessons or anything. All that I do is just from my head and my brain. But I want to practice, and I want to get technically better. I just need to put time and effort into it that I've never done before, and I've never spent time doing. There are so many things I want to do, I'm planning on doing, and I've decided to give myself some time, probably a year, to just start doing stuff and start seeing what sticks. I think seeing myself get to a point where I'd stopped caring about stuff sent me into a realization that I'm not doing the right thing. Because again, if you know me, I'm one of the most passionate people I know about literally everything. Like anything I care about, I will be able to talk about it till the ends of the earth, unless you stop me and interrupt me. There's no way that I won't be able to find some way to keep the conversation going. And yet, when it came to physics and doing maths and doing blah, 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 there were certain things that I was like, yay, I'd love to talk about it. And I love to hear about it, but me doing it felt like a chore. And I don't like that. I don't think that's the way forward for me. So I want to start doing stuff to do with music, so it doesn't feel like a chore, and it feels like I'm gaining from it, but also that long term my brain is going to thank me for, because I've challenged myself in a way that I've never done before. I have a few ideas of how I'm going to do that. I don't think I'll say them, because if I do and then I don't do them, I'll be really disappointed with myself. Again, not that anyone really needs to care, because it's all to do with me and how I'm trying to better myself. But the other reason why I'm documenting it and I'm saying all of this and talking about this is because I think in a world where pessimism is the default for many of our generation, I feel like it's nice to hear or talk about how actually feel. I've felt so hopeless about the future, especially in recent years. I think the world that we've been given is so unfair. The world we're gonna have to try and rebuild and heal feels like it's gonna be impossible to heal and rebuild, even though I would love to. And I think a lot of people would love to because they don't want to be living in a broken world. We don't really have a lot of options or choice. And I think that's terrifying. But I also think if this is the state of the world, talking about the fact that you hope that things can get better, or just adding some light in some way by just being yourself, I think that's a really cool thing that more people should be doing. And I'm being myself when I sing, when I write, when I dance in the little music videos I make, even though they're covers, when I talk like this, although I'm a bit dejected today and I'm not as animated, I'm still being me. And people don't have to like who I am, but I think that's the nature of being human, right? There's so many people around the world. You will eventually find people that you like you. But the only way to know is to actually be yourself. To close, because I think this is really funny, I'm going to read a chapter from my journal. This was from 14th of July 2023. I'm not going to read the whole thing because I word vomited so much of a situation. Like, there was so much that happened, but there's a really nice final paragraph that I think is really cute and it's very full circle because it's basically what I just said but written in words. I said, I'm feeling so good about myself and my future. I'm so proud of how far I've come and I just can't wait to see what the next few years bring. I'm not going to be too naive and optimistic, obviously, because life has challenges and I know I will have the negatives occur, but I think I deserve the right to feel a little excited about the future and who I'll become and grow into for a change. Because that's another thing I'll mention as I get to the end of this page. I'm so glad I've realised that I will forever be growing. Because, as simple and possibly dumb that sounds to future Bianca, it's such an important lesson to learn and to keep forgiving yourself while you move forward and keep encountering challenges. Never give up on yourself and trust your heart and let it guide you. And be reborn and practice whatever you know will make you a better person. Cut everyone off who disagrees and protect your inner peace. I'm so proud of you. Have the best July and report back to me. I love you. Keep going. I think that's really funny that I was saying that back then because it's just really stupid, but like that's how I talk to myself. I also don't know whether I watch Kung Fu Panda or something because I talked about inner peace and being reborn. I don't know. I'm probably gonna end the video here because it says I only have 2 minutes left and I have talked for a very long time. If you watched the end of this video, thank you. It's very kind of you. I might actually film some more another time. I'll see how I edit this and see what happens. But yeah, we'll see what the future brings. We'll see how I feel soon. And eventually I'll post something original or when I have the time. And yeah, thank you for watching this part. I'll cut it whenever I feel like it needs to be cut because